Well, this race was actually, you might think this race was good, but it had its flaws. We're going to get to them today on the pedal. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron Simpson, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. We do NASCAR race reactions every single day after NASCAR race. Mine a little delayed today. I understand that because we are, yesterday, I did not get to watch stage 1 of this race. I'm going to put that out right now because up here where I am, we are dealing with, or have dealt with, a hurricane or tropical storm Andre. So we've been dealing with Andre for the last few days. I lost power, so we were kind of out of it for the whole stage 1 of the race. Of course, longer than that as well, but mainly the whole stage 1 of this race, if we're talking about race-wise. So I didn't get to see stage 1, but I did see the last 2 laps of stage 1, and I saw stage 2 and stage 3 since it was a rainy, windy, terrible day. I stayed in and watched the race, and it was Michigan. What is there in Michigan? What's an exciting part of Michigan, right? And for the average NASCAR fan, and by the title of the video, I will say this race was good on paper. Very good on paper. For NASCAR, for the average fan just to watch, and just your average Joe fan watching NASCAR for the first time or just tuning in after a while, this race passed the test. It really did. It was, they had passing, they had excitement, they had some drama at the end of the race. For your average Joe fan, this race passed the test. Probably overdid some people's expectations. But my thing with this race is that the dirty air, and today was the first time for me that the dirty air was clearly really in play today. So for you guys that tune into these videos each week, that watch NASCAR each week, you guys understand what I mean when I say that dirty air was equivalent and that this race was only good on paper. It passed the check system, it passed the test for NASCAR, but it didn't pass for us hardcore fans because I can't get over having a good race when there was dirty air involved, when there was things that were involved in today's race that aren't something that normally is a part of it. Not something that should always be a part of a race. And we're dealing with a fact of the matter is that NASCAR and dirty air, they want to have these tracks, these fast tracks, these tracks that are over 2 miles long, that are 200 miles per hour. It's gonna happen. There's going to be dirty air, there's going to be problems with the dirty air, but NASCAR with the new packages have basically adopted dirty air into the sport, has said, yeah, let's bring some dirty air and affect these drivers. So I want to ask you guys who watched the race, how many passes for the lead were there? How many passes for the lead were there? Because I'll tell you, I think there was none. Maybe one, because Austin Dillion attempted to make a pass for the lead, and that went absolutely terrible for him. But how many passes for the lead were there, realistically? See that? That's a 0. There was 0 realistic passes for the lead. Kyle Larson and the 9 car were close. Now, was the racing close? Yes. No one got further than, I think, 2-second lead, and that was when Kyle Busch pulled some pit strategy and stuff like that. The racing was close, and you think, wow, racing's close like this. This should be a walk in the park, awesome race, but you would be shocked to know that that's not always the case. Yes, the racing was close. It was energetic. It was good racing. It was basically like this. It was, they were behind each other, but you couldn't go down and make a pass. You couldn't go down. It was extremely difficult. You could not pass. And we're not talking about restarts. I'm not talking about restarts here, like the first lap restart, second lap of restart. those are always gonna be exciting, because that's what NASCAR has done with this package, where those restarts are chaotic, sudden, and they kind of draw in for some overtimes or some late race restarts or some excitement late in the race. And no matter what, I think that you should be able to pass for the lead and not have to rely on getting a restart. You should be able to pass easier than taking about 3 to 5 laps to make a pass. You should be able to make a pass without spending that much time trying to make a pass. I'm not an average Joe NASCAR fan. I'm a person who will record a race if I can't watch it and watch it the next day, who will tune in to a NASCAR race if I can watch it. And the moment NASCAR put this race green in the first couple laps of stage 2 after a crazy restart, I realized that that's what they want. They want the crazy restarts, they want the dirty air, they want their package to be absolutely crazy. That to me is not the way to go. But to NASCAR, that is exactly the way to go. For me personally, I thought that today's race is a very mixed bag. It was very good at the end. There was some craziness that happened, including a few wrecks like Austin Dillion, where if I'm going to put this into some, like a freeze frame or a slow motion video, we can really dive into this. Just going to begin here. We're going to slow down the frame. We're going to make this pretty slow. And, see what we can find from this. So here we go. This is the end of the stage. And right here, from this picture right here, we see Austin Dillion at the bottom. We see Brad Keselowski at the top, and pretty clean racing right here. They're both racing hard. They're both racing to win. But right now, looking at it like this, we're going to see Austin Dillion. He came up on Brad Keselowski slightly and tried to go a little more. He came up on him. And right here, you can see the contact. But let's slow this down here. And that was, we're gonna see where they make slight contact. And right here, Austin Dillion, Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillion kind of seems to move this way. He's doing side drafting. That's a normal thing that happens here in Michigan, is side drafting. And right there's contact between the two of them. That really doesn't matter in this instance, the contact. But here we go, down the stage. Austin Dillion clearly has the race won. Austin Dillon's got the race won here. He's won the stage. He finished 5th. But here's where the interesting thing comes up. Look where Brad Keselowski is in this frame right here. He's pretty much in the same line. He doesn't seem to really move. Where in this frame right here, Austin Dillon's moving down to the apron. Watch where Brad Keselowski goes. Pause it right there. He's still kind of in his same frame. He's kind of still in the same spot he was in the beginning of the race. He's at the bottom where he started the race. So Brad Keselowski kind of holds his line. He's going to go a little bit lower on the line, as you're going to see. But watch. Just watch, really. He holds his line very well. He stays where he is. He does. When I first watched the replay, it seemed like he moved down. But clearly, so right there, you can see he definitely moves down. The 3 car definitely moves up here as well, and that causes the 3 to go slam into the outside wall and have a really bad crash that nobody wants to see, right into the outside wall and into that outside barrier. So big damage for that car. Not anything we want to see, but clearly it is something that is really, it's something that's going to happen in this situation here when you have 2 drivers literally battling neck and neck. And, Austin Dillion seemed to come up. It had major playoff implications, because I think the 3 car had his best car he's had all season for this race. He has not had a better car all season, in my opinion, than he had today. So that's just my opinion on that take. I think Austin Dillion had his best car all year today, and it kind of went to waste, honestly. His car kind of went to waste. He had a good points day. He was able to get those playoff points, but now going into Daytona next week in a must-win situation. Also, at the end of the race, there was another late race incident, you could say, and Joey Logano, you guys know, not my favorite driver, came up here and basically kept plowing in to the 8 car. Kind of let up a little bit, kind of let the 8 car go up, and then he kind of got a little loose and then got to Martin Truex Jr., who was on his back bumper. And for me, I think there might have been a little bit of some payback by Martin Truex Jr. to Joey Logano for some things that Joey might have done to Martin in the past, because he did not let up the gas, and that caused a little bit of a crash there. But let's get into winner spotlight. Quickly, we'll kind of combine winner spotlight and your top finishers together here. Ryan Blaney wins the race today, and this is his second win this year. Big win for him, big win for his team, because they definitely needed to get a win here, and they did, and that was good for them intending to playoffs. Those 5 playoff points, big deal. Late race, regular season win is always big, so he won the race, and here are our finishing results. Of course, we just talked about it, Ryan Blaney. Behind him, William Byron was running very good all day, kind of lost track position towards, second stage of the race, but was able to get back to the front for the third stage. Good job for him. Kyle Larson was up front all day today and led a couple of laps today. Kurt Busch finished 4th today, which is a good finish for that team. The fact that they were able to go finish 4th and, put together that. Denny Hamlin in 5th today. Matt DiBenedetto with another top 10. That team is starting to run good. Too bad, that this crew chief change, these changes couldn't have happened earlier in the season, and then we wouldn't be talking about Matt DiBenedetto leaving and not having a ride, but he's proven that he can drive. I don't know if he's going to get a ride next year. It's still all up in the air. Kyle Busch in 7th place today. Chase Elliott in 8th, kind of pitted with Kyle towards the end of the race, lost in track position, got some points, finished in the top 10. Brad Keselowski in 9th, Martin Truex Jr. in 10th. Chase Briscoe finished 11th in today's race. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished top 15. Christopher Bell in 13th place today. Kevin Harvick with the top 15, but ran pretty bad all day. Just that team kind of looks like that team kind of looks like the Kyle Busch team of last year, just kind of struggling, not really producing, kind of looks like the Kyle Busch team of last year. Chris Buescher in 15th. Alex Bowman in 16th. Eric Almirola with that top 20. Eric Jones as well with that top 20 in 18th. Just announced that he has a ride next year. I believe it was with Richard Petty Racing next year. Bubba Wallace, former Richard Petty Racing driver, in 19th. And Michael McDowell, the Daytona 500 champion, with a top 20. And one more race remains until the playoffs. So let's get into Road to the Playoffs. Today, welcome into Road to the Playoffs, you guys. If you are new here, Road to the Playoffs is where we look at the playoffs. We analyze it, we talk about it, we see who's going to stand, and we are going to get into that right now. So, the playoffs are as followed. We're going to put the graphic up on your screen right now and take this again with a grain of salt, because this is as the playoffs run. Whoever has won a race, of course, is going to go ahead of others. So, have to take that with that grain of salt here, because the real battle at first and second is between Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin. They're battling for the regular season championship. Now on here, it shows Denny Hamlin in 14th place, locked in on his points. He did lock in on his points just the other day. And yes, he is only in 14th place in the points because of all the winners ahead of him and how much points they have collected in playoff points. Denny Hamlin in playoff points has only collected 5 playoff points. So this shows the leaderboard off of playoff points. Now, off of the regular season points, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson are 1-2. That's where it is there. Now, the winner, the winner of the regular season championship gets 15 extra playoff points. So right now we look at Kyle Larson, 37 playoff points. So those 15 playoff points set him way above the rest of the field. For Denny Hamlin, those 15 extra playoff points get him to 20 playoff points. That kind of ties him now with Martin Truex Jr. and Alex Bowman and Kyle Busch and those people who have won races. So those 15 extra playoff points for the 11 car will be good, but it's going to be tough for him to get because this week the 5 car set himself apart from the rest. Martin Truex Jr., of course, with those 20 playoff points. Those guys really don't matter. In yellow, they are in the playoffs. We're going to be worrying about the playoff points next week's Road to the Playoffs, which will come out on Sunday. Tyler Reddick got a 25-point gap on his teammate Austin Dillion. Now, Austin Dillion is not in an absolute must-win situation. He's in a preferred to must-win situation that he needs to do. His team would probably prefer him to win, but he can point his way in if craziness happens at Daytona. If Tyler Reddick wrecks out or doesn't get any points, Austin Dillion could put his way in. The rest of the guys are in a 100% must-win situation. Matt DiBetto, he could shake things up at Daytona. He could win this race, as well as Chris Buescher. He runs well here all the time. He has a legitimate shot. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky Stenhouse also has a real chance to win this race. So as much as we don't want to see it, as much as we don't want to say it, Ricky Stenhouse has got a shot to win the race. I mean, it's something we got to be watching here today. Ricky Ruckhouse has got a shot to win a race and clinch a playoff berth. How awesome would that be for his team? And also, there's road to the playoffs. Now let's score this race on hit the gas or hit the brakes. A tough one to score because, as I said, as an average Joe fan, as a regular fan that doesn't watch each week, awesome race. Very solid race. But for a fan that watches week in, week out, and watches almost every single form of NASCAR racing and watches every week, this race had some problems. And so if it was just as the race started, I wasn't going to hit the brakes, but towards the third stage, I was thinking, all right, a C+, I'm going to hit the gas, C+, and as the race went on, got a little more interested. Playoffs came into effect in strategy and stuff as well. So I'm going to hit the gas and give this race a B- today, a step up from the C+, a good Michigan race that delivered, but for your average Joe fan, a great race. For me and maybe some others, it is not an amazing race in any way. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, peace out.